interesting, far out concept on murder. I'm someone that sits on things, and I read life in a different way. I read life from a very, very deep psychological, energetic understanding, like a map, like piecing a map together, you know. And you're able to do that when you understand that there's no mistakes in the universe and that everything is interconnected as one. There's an answer for everything. Pondering on death, and more specifically murder. People commit murders. Well, here's the deal. First of all, whether you're an atheist, whether you're this religion, that religion, whether you don't have a religion, you're just spiritual, whatever the case may be, you're atheist or not, every person innately knows that we are eternal, because each and every person, every animal, every blade of grass, everything is coming from the one source consciousness in infinite forms. So there's the given. People that are suffering, they're demonic. They have a hunger, a thirst for blood and to kill. You know, people who are serial killers and who murder other people, at the very, very, very bottom root of why they do that is because they need to remember that they are eternal, because they're haunted by a demon that is imprisoning them to the point where they're actually having this hunger and this need to murder. And this is crazy. You know, to some people hearing that, you know, that would really offend some people, because we're so accustomed to throwing someone in prison for the rest of their life. Half the people that commit this stuff don't even understand why they're doing it. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. All the documentaries that we watch, people will commit murders and talk about demons coming out of their chest when they do it, and then they're a normal guy all the rest of the time. You know, you got to scratch your head and look at that and go, this guy's not lying. You know what I mean? People don't even realize why they're doing what they're doing. So that's why it's important that we can put aside judgment, put aside, you know, damnation, cast away, swept under the rug. Look at that. Look at that. We want to sweep all these problems under the rug. Problems just aren't in here individually. Problems manifest as human beings, you know? Humans are the real monsters. You've heard that. Demons channel through humans, you know, and tell them to do this kind of thing. And the human feels like it doesn't have a choice. But look at Charlie Manson. You know, people like this. Every once in a while you would find a psychologist that sat down next to them and really, really was genuinely curious to understand them. And of course they're not used to that, so they don't know how to respond to that. You know, they don't have that wiring going on up in the brain. But that's why it's so important that we release judgment and kind of broaden and expand our understanding behind human behavior, the nature of human existence. Really get down deep, like educate ourselves in mysticism and spirituality and energy, ancient texts, you know, really try to get a holistic view of the human experience in general throughout time and history. Because here we are at this time on Earth. If we want to stop this, if we want to prevent the damage before it happens, on whatever scale and level we're talking, we have to be able to understand it, be able to understand what causes it, so we can address the root cause before it goes any further. Instead of judging, let's have the courage to go a little bit deeper and try to figure out what's really going on. And in order to do that, you have to not pick a side. You have to not be scared of evil. You have to not be pushed around by the darkness. We have to let go of our religious dogma in order to really achieve that and be able to do that from a place of non-judgment and unconditional love. Because remember, Healing is about finding all the areas within yourself that you're blocked off from unconditional love. That's why going into the heart of the wound, of the trauma, is to be able to understand it and heal it from the root, not to rewrite it, not to escape it. And that's something that you have to understand, because we do have the ability with our thoughts to change the DNA in our body, change our reality from the inside out, to heal diseases. Big stuff. But I think what's going on right now at this particular pivotal point is there's so many people like myself, like all of us, who have a lot of trauma, who are haunted still by their fears, is we're understanding the teachings by these doctors and scientists explaining logically on a physiological level what's occurring in the body when we, meditate, come into heart-brain coherence, restoring the telomeres on our DNA, anti-aging, healing disease. We're hearing all these superhuman abilities on how to completely rewire our existence from the inside out. And we're trying to do that before we actually get to the root of the trauma. And actually the whole narrative around rewire and retell your story is tricking the ego into thinking that all that repressed information is bad and should not be dug up, that it should just remain buried forever and never be addressed, which is actually the problem.